turn your microphones on and speak in the microphone since it is being. Yeah, you can.
Here you go. Here you go. There you go. You're good.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to open up the meeting. It is August 8th. This is the new Community Services Commission. And let's go ahead and take roll call.
Commissioner Kwong
Present?
Commissioner Rocha,
here.
Commissioner Ocon,
Here.
and Commissioner Tamas via Zoom.
Here.
And for the record, it is 6:33.
Very good. Thank you. Great. This item number 1, any public comment?
We received no public comment via email. Do you have anybody on Zoom?
No one on Zoom.
Item number 2, minutes of the Park and Recreation Commission meeting of June 13th. There's a recommendation that the commission review and approve the June 13th meeting minutes.
I move to approve the June 13th, 2022 meeting minutes.
Second.
All right. We do have somebody on Zoom. Should we do an individual roll call?
Yes, please.
All right. Commissioner Alcon.
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Temis. Commissioner Temis
Yes.
and Commissioner Rocha,
Yes.
and a yes for me. Okay. Motion carries. Okay. Number 3, the review and approval of the fall 2022 field permits. It's recommended that the commission review and approve the 2022 fall permits for the field use.
So Lucy will be presenting that item.
Good evening, commissioners.
Hello.
In your packet is the 2022 fall field permit request. We have received 3 for this season from AYSO, South Pasadena Little League, and Holy Family School. These are ongoing users that utilize our fields. And staff works very closely with both organizations as well as the school to make sure that there's no overlap or to accommodate each other's requests as best as possible given the limited amount of field space that we have. There are no conflicts. There are no impacts with anything. We have spoken with Holy Family with one of their requests, and I think staff has already worked out everything. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, staff's recommendation is to approve.
What's the duration of the permits?
It's for, give me 1 second. For fall. So from now until January, February, then we'll start the spring sessions or spring season.
Is it for Little League?
This request is from AYSO, from Little League, as well as Holy Family. And Holy Family's request is for their flag football practices.
Any other questions?
Oh, everybody's working together, which is great. And it's stuff.
It is nice to collaborate with all the organizations, yes, just so that we can have the field space for our youth, whether they're playing soccer or baseball or softball.
I motion to approve the fall 2022 field permits.
I second.
I'm going to do a roll call vote. Commissioner Alcon,
Yes.
Commissioner Tamis,
Yes.
Commissioner Rocha,
Yes.
and a yes for me.
Thank you.
Carries. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 4, any city council liaison communications?
Nope.
Okay, Councilman Donovan's not here. All right. Number 5, staff liaison communications.
Okay, I'll start with myself and then they can all talk. Welcome to the Community Services Commission. I'm so glad that you are all here. And I am hoping by the first meeting in September, which is I think the 7th, that we will have our other 3. And then we'll have a 7 total of you. So it'll be very nice. So it'll take up their space. Our council member, I will sit down there with Lucy. Our new way of doing things is I will be having our staff here to present their divisions and what's going on in their divisions so that you are updated across our department and not just the recreation side of things. You will be handling, more things now in the way of seniors and transit. So I think it's going to be nice. You guys will have the gamut of what the department does. So probably know is everybody out there, maybe not Israel, but I'll have them introduce themselves when they come up. When the new other three come on, you have a new notebook. They'll get a new notebook too. We will kind of go through again what, they'll introduce themselves, kind of give an overview of what they, do. And just kind of come full circle as a group so that we can start moving forward. In October, my department is going through a department assessment, assessing where we could, if we need more staffing, less staffing, how we can create more revenue, new programming, creating, a better office environment. We do kind of have a terrible office environment where it's just people in a one room and no walls, and so one person talks on the phone. It's hard to have another conversation. If you're disciplining staff, you kind of got to find a location to discipline. So working on those kind of things. And then trying to create a vision and mission for our department alone. So in October, that consultant's going to come and talk to the commission and kind of go over a SWOT analysis with you. What are the strengths of ours? I know they call them threats. I hate that word. We need to change the word. But just kind of going over with the commission, maybe what you see could be better, what you think, just any ideas. He's here to get it. He'll be here just to learn as much as he can. He's actually interviewing each staff member in their areas, interviewing some of the other staff as well, our part-time staff, trying to do a part-time survey to be out to all the department as well, or to our part-timers, since we don't always have them every day here. Just so get a better understanding of the department. Also, I know that you guys know in 2 years I'll be retiring and being ready to succession plan and move forward the department forward for the next person that will be moving up into the position so that they're ready and can continue that movement of the department and it's not stale. Or if our Lucy decides to go somewhere else in between there, that whoever comes in can take that in and take it around with it. So you guys will have that time to really kind of take a really good look at our department as a whole. We'll probably send you something prior to, just as a review, kind of letting you know what we do. So it's not just like, well, I don't know what you guys do. And it'll be a time just to also ask questions. We will all be here as well. So that is going to be my update. And so now I'm going to turn it over to our division. Each division, they'll introduce themselves and give you kind of a brief overview of kind of their summer. Next month, we will actually have a report kind of giving you in the summer numbers, budgets and everything. But I just wanted to make sure that, we started coming and showing their faces and kind of giving you a little information. So, and then if you have questions too, directly, you can ask them. It doesn't have to go to me, go to them type of thing. So. Thank you.
So we're going to move to number 5,
Yep.
which is the staff liaison communications.
And so Israel, why don't you come on up and go first? Either side's fine. Oh, did you guys have an order? Is that the order?
Yeah, Israel is up first.
Okay.
I've seen the transit van around town.
Here we see him.
I don't know where it goes though.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah,
Oh,
That's too loud. Okay.
at least we're recording. We hear you.
Okay. Well, a few things that I'm working on right now is to kind of transform my division to implement a microtransit program. So to merge what we have right now is a paratransit dollar right program where seniors and people with disabilities can come and use our service. But I want to open it up to the public and purchase new vehicles so that they have access to a certain range and everything else in between. Microtransit, if you guys aren't familiar, is an Uber and Lyft type service, but it's ran by public sector agencies. So it's similar to Uber and Lyft, but in specific zones, and it's a fraction of the cost. And in order to do this, I've been working on getting a new software company or seeing if our current software company can offer this program to us so that we can use our staff and keep all of our staff. It doesn't have to be contracted out how it is in other cities, but to implement a brand new program so that everybody has the option to travel within a certain radius for a fraction of the cost and it would cost Uber and Lyft to open up mobility solutions to people that don't have that option. So a few other things that I'm working on is I have 2 vehicles out right now. One of them is out for a spark plugs, and because it's a CNG vehicle, it's very specified. Only a certain amount of people know how to work on it and can get the part. So I'm trying to get that one fixed. And another one of my vehicles has a leak in the CNG tank, and I'm waiting to get that part fixed as well. Other than that, I assist Lucy with various projects, Sheila with various projects. And yeah, that's about it for me. Who's up next? Oh, yes. Any questions?
so would the public pay? Is it a fee for service, this micro transit?
Yes, there would be a fee for service, but that wouldn't be up to me. That would be up to the discretion of the city council. I can offer our recommendations on what would be best for us, but ultimately council wants to, whatever direction council wants to take it, they can take it. If they want to make a little bit more profit out of it, they can, or if they want to do it where it's a service to benefit the public, they can do it that way as well. That's not up to me. My job would be to give them the facts and the program.
And is the purpose is to reduce parking or congestion?
It's just in my field, I work in the transit field. This is the way that public transportation is heading. Like in the city of Pasadena, not specifically the city of Pasadena, they already have what's called Metro Micro. So the state has a micro transit program already, and they put it in place of Pasadena, and they also have one in Highland Park, Glasso Park, Cypress Park, Inglewood, LAX area. They're already starting to pop up, but I want to bring one specifically here to benefit the residents of South Pasadena.
How many, how big will the fleet be? Besides the 2 that you're talking about now.
Right now, that would be up to the software companies. And when I speak to the software companies, they're telling me that based off of what we have, they can use our materials and do what's called a demo where they can put our staff and our fleet and our hours and see, kind of project out what we would need or how many more vehicles we would need. So right now we would keep what we have existing, but the fleet might have to increase and the staff might have to increase based on what the need is. So if it becomes really, really popular, then we would have to get more staff, more fleet. But at the moment, it's just what we have.
5 vehicles total. 5 vehicles.
And are you working with Metro to try to get whatever grants or money that they can give out?
With Metro, I haven't really reached out to them, but we're working with local return funds right now. I recently applied for a grant last week with AQMD. So let's see if they give us any money. It's to purchase new vehicles. So waiting on.
And like Israel said, we get the local return, which is Prop A and C, which is a sales tax that LA County voters approve. So the city gets a portion of Prop A and Prop C each year. And that will fund our dial-a-ride, microtransit. And then there is, and it does the entire program from staff to vehicles, everything. So we can procure vehicles through, using our Prop A and C funds. We just hope to maybe not use so much because we do share the funds with Public Works. They can do, traffic management, bus stop cleaning, new bus stops, a bus stop pad where the bus drives over, so it's a little thicker concrete, to any kind of street work that is on a street where the actual transit buses, not our transit buses, but metro buses actually have a route on. So we kind of share the funds. That usually we take over first what we want, and then the leftovers they get.
Great, man.
Victoria, any questions?
Would it be possible to get this agendized as a presentation to the commission prior to going to council?
We will.
Even if it's just a receive and file as information, but not as any sort of recommendation? Because I'd be curious to hear with the different methods of transportation that are within the city, between having the metro stop, having the metro buses, having dial-a-ride, which I wasn't sure if this is replacing dial-a-ride or is in addition to, is more like a first mile, last mile measure, whereas dial-a-ride is dealing more with accessibility, like getting an information of having all those different modes of transportation next to each other, and what is supplementing what versus what is like hopefully not duplicative.
Right. Okay.
Of course, yeah, absolutely, we can do
We
that.
will bring that. It will have to come through a recommendation through the commission, as we will be doing all.
It
that
would be
project
recommendation.
now.
Okay, great. Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah, but I can answer one of the questions right
Sure.
now. It would be in addition to dollar rights, so it would be
Okay.
using the software would manage kind of everything. And it would figure out with its algorithm which one to go to. So a paratransit user can schedule in advance how they normally would. But let's say, for example, if we wanted to go somewhere right now, we could use our phone, call it, and then you could have a paratransit user with you on the ride, going to their appointment, they'll drop them off first. So it would be to support dollar right a little bit better to make it a little bit more efficient.
I'll tell you, a lot of our seniors that use the programs throughout COVID, we've lost a lot of our seniors that are getting out and about. And so we do have an older population of seniors that like to call in,
Right.
make the reservation, know the driver who's picking them up and all that. But then we do have our younger ones that aren't using it because I'm not a senior and I don't want to be in something that says dial-a-ride, and I think they will use the service a little bit more. We had interviews today for a position in transit, and we had a panel. One of the panelists was from San Gabriel. And so they contract out their dial-a-ride, and now they have micro transit there starting up. So they're kind of doing it both ways as well. So it'd be, it's kind of, I want to watch how San Gabriel goes through theirs and how it works, but they're only doing, their dial-a-ride goes outside of that outside the city, a 5-mile radius, but their microtransit is only going to be in city.
Right.
So you have to be in the city and go somewhere in the city. The only thing is they have a little bit more in their city. We don't have the Target, and we don't, so we're kind of trying to figure out like where that shape would be, because we don't want to go too far out. But we don't want to isolate ourselves just to South Pass.
Makes sense. Do we have accessible vehicles?
We-
Like with lifts?
All of our vehicles currently are accessible.
Okay.
We are looking into purchasing 3. They're the Ford Transit. I think it's Ford or I can't remember what company, but it's the smaller transit vans, and they are accessible as well. So it'll be 7 passengers and a wheelchair.
8.
8 passengers in a wheelchair.
Got it.
So if you do take somebody that and you're kind of picking up, how Uber does a few people, taking them back.
Mhm.
And then if it works out well that the seniors like, our older seniors start using that, then we might turn out just over, since, where our worry is our seniors won't feel comfortable, and so we want to ease them into that. And then I think knowing that they have the same driver, like, oh, it is the same driver. And a lot of times I'll tell you, they go to the store and they're not ready to come out. So then they could just come and go as they please, instead of like, oh, I have to be out at 1 because we've got another passenger we've got to pick up on a time schedule.
Right.
That's it for me.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Okay, good evening, commissioners. How are you doing tonight? Good.
evening.
We lost our the sock. And then we lost that earlier too. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Melissa. I am our community services supervisor who oversees our senior services division, in addition to other duties as assigned. So I will go through those. So the first one that I'll talk about tonight is our recreation classes. So that actually falls under our recreation and youth services supervisor. But I initially got hired on with the city in March of 2020, and my coordinator position included that. So it kind of transitioned with me. So if you're not familiar with that program, it is a contract class program. So we contract out instructors who come in and teach classes for us. So that ranges from like top classes all the way over to older adult classes and all sorts of activities. So they could be sports, arts and crafts, fitness classes, kind of anything and everything. So I took that with me over to the senior center when I transitioned over there last August. And so I'm going to give you a quick recap on this past summer. So this summer we hosted specialty camps at Garfield Park. We did a 9-week program following the South Pasadena Unified School District's summer, and we had 284 participants enrolled in those camps. And those camps are slightly different from our Camp Med program that you'll hear about later. So these are half-day camps that have a variety of different topics from STEM to arts and crafts to cooking as well. So it's kind of different. It's a little more pricey. And so our Camp Med program offers a more feasible all-day program for them. So this is just parents who may be looking for a little something for their kids to do throughout the summer that isn't a full-day program. In addition to that, in our other classes, which are usually like a once a week or twice a week class, we had over 1,000 participants this summer, which is the most that we've had since I started in the middle of the pandemic. So that's really good. And we're really proud of those numbers. So we're hoping that they increase. And we also started our fall registration on August 1st. With that being said, during our fall session, we'll begin to transfer classes back to the recreation division. It's easier for Natalie to oversee that because most of the calls and questions go to that division. So they'll be able to answer them in-house, but I will be helping with the transition so that Natalie is ready and prepared for that. And then I'll move to senior services. So for our senior programming, I usually like to update you guys on our nutrition program first, which is a daily meal that we now serve in person starting this week. So we had been conducting home deliveries throughout the pandemic to our homebound seniors and pretty much anyone who was over 55 in South Pasadena. Due to COVID, as things started to get better, we opened, we closed again, and now we're back open. So we're offering daily hot meals, and then we still do home delivery meals on Mondays to our seniors who are still homebound or who are uncomfortable with coming out. So right now we delivered to about 22 homes in South Pass, and then we do in-person meals in addition to grab and go meals. So if seniors are able-bodied and they want to come out, they can pick up meals at the start of the week as well. And then we also offer those hot meals. So in the month of July, we had 511 meals delivered and 77 meals picked up. So we have about 4 grab and go participants right now who just take the meals and leave. And then our next thing that I'll briefly talk about is some programming that we do at the senior center. So if you guys aren't familiar, we operate Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have a variety of programs from language classes, which includes Spanish, Italian, and French. We do a book club discussion. We have contract classes like meditation, functional fitness, yoga, Tai Chi, a variety of topics. And then we also have like a book discussion group and ongoing groups such as Bridge and Mahjong that meet at the center as well. So we got a lot going on. And then we also offer special events programs. So I have a couple save the dates for you all. We have our National Senior Citizen Day picnic, which will be Thursday, August 18th. So if you're free around lunchtime at 12, we will be having a little picnic indoors so we can be in the AC for our seniors. And then we will also have an end of summer luau luncheon on August 31st, same time at 12 p.m. for our seniors. And then a kind of a cool new one that we're bringing back since the pandemic is we're going to do a health and resource fair for our seniors at the senior center in September. So that'll be September 21st and it'll go from 9:30 to 1 p.m. If you guys have any vendors or local groups that you know about who may be a resource to seniors, I'd be happy to have them out at the event, so you can send them my way. And then one more thing is we have a co-sponsored event next Monday. It's our Senior Champion Awards Night. We're co-sponsoring this with the Senior Citizen Foundation of South Pasadena. It is a first-time event, kind of as a fundraiser to help raise money for the foundation, who sponsors a lot of our events throughout the year. That night we'll be honoring Bob Joe and Granville Thurman. They're local South Pasadena residents who've done a lot for our community. So if you're interested in attending, I can send you the link to purchase tickets. And that kind of concludes Senior Center. So then I'm going to move to our interdepartment communications team that I serve on and kind of make a quick announcement. But the Community Services Department finally launched our own social media channels in July. So we have our own Facebook and Instagram. So I encourage you guys to follow along and encourage residents to follow as well. We get a lot of comments throughout the year that, oh, I didn't know about this event, or I didn't know about that. And we already do a lot of communications through constant contact, the website, press releases. So this is just furthering our ability to reach out to our residents. So we're very excited. And you can find us at South Pasadena Com Services. So COMSVCS. So follow along. And that's it. So I can take any questions.
You train your seniors on the technology to also download Instagram out of curiosity?
So we've offered tech days,
Okay.
so they can come in and ask local high school students any questions they may have. So that's been helpful, but most of our seniors have Facebook. The senior
Yeah,
center already
very
had
good.
a,
I was curious if you thought the demographic was also on Instagram.
yeah, so this was more for the department. So it's a less of a senior center thing and more for us to engage with our other community groups. But the senior center does offer their own Facebook page, which the seniors follow pretty regularly. But they mostly use Facebook, and we have assisted them with figuring out how to use it and how to get it on their phone and how to get it off their phone. So yes. Okay, well, I'll bring up Miss Natalie Wilcox.
Thank you, Melissa. All right. Hello, good evening, commissioners. My name is Natalie Wilcox, and I'm the Community Services Supervisor overseeing youth programming, facility reservations, field allocations, and special events throughout the year. I will have Jordan Bell, our program specialist who directly oversees the Camp Med program, provide an update on our 9-week summer camp program and our after-school youth program. So for now, I would like to provide an update on our facility reservations. For our paid rentals for the month of June and July, these numbers don't include the interdepartment meetings, class meetings, or youth organizations who host meetings at these locations. So for our first summer back from COVID, our indoor rentals have been steadily increasing with 11 rentals at the War Memorial Building, 3 rentals for the Garfield Park Youth House, and 1 for the Eddy Park House. So currently I have been providing 3 to 4 walkthroughs a month to prospective renters who would like to look to host one of their events at one of our locations. So typically our inquiries are for the War Memorial Building and our youth house at Garfield Park. We also have been receiving many meeting requests for our Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, and Cub Packs for their fall meetings this year. And for our park rentals have been very busy for the month of June and July. We had 14 gazebo rentals at Orange Grove Park. We had 68 rentals at Garfield Park, and we had 44 rentals at Arroyo Park. For this summer, our field usage was also pretty busy. We had our South Pass Little League, Camp Adventurewood, and our Challenger Sports use our facility at Arroyo Park and Orange Grove as well. And lastly, we are gearing up for our special events coming up this fall. We have our spectacular event, our citywide open house, as well as our winter events that we are gearing up for this year. So that's kind of my updates. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Awesome. Thank you.
Great.
Good evening. My name is Jordan Bell. I am the program specialist in the Community Services Department. I began with the department in November. I was born and raised in South Pasadena and actually recently just moved back to South Pasadena. In addition to working my only other job after graduating college was with the South Pasadena San Marino YMCA. Was let go during at the beginning of the pandemic, and then luckily found myself back in the city that I love and doing the thing that I love, which is running youth programs. So my primary responsibility with our department is overseeing our Camp Med after school and summer programs. So we just finished our 9th week of summer Camp Med, which was a big undertaking, but it was overall a very fun, safe, and successful program. We did weekly field trips to places like the Long Beach Aquarium, Discovery Cube, Underwood Family Farms in Moore Park, we went there and did strawberry picking out in the field and an animal center, and you can actually find those same strawberries at the South Pass Farmers Market because they actually have a stand there as well, which we actually walk by every Thursday when we walk to the South Pasadena High School. So every Thursday we walked from camp to the high school for rec swim. So that was a lot of fun walking through the streets of South Pass with 50 to 60 5 to 12-year-olds and walking by Caldi's and saying hi to the people drinking coffee there and kind of scaring them a little bit too, just with the massive people, but always very well behaved. And so from there, again, you kind of do the weekly field trip, the pool trip, and then most of the rest of our time was spent over at Orange Grove Park, where we run our camp. So outdoor games and activities and playground and tons of different kinds of games and activities. And that's we have a very kind of dedicated and encouraging staff who enjoy putting on those kinds of things for our campers. And so it was a very fun summer. I forgot to mention, between our 2 camps, so we have a lower camp, which is ages 5 to 9, and then a middle school camp, which is 10 to 13. So between those 2 camps, we had a total of 508 campers over the course of the summer. It was a week-to-week camp, so parents could sign up for weeks 1, 5, and 9. 1 through 9, it was really up to them. Our middle school camp also had the privilege of going on what we called mini trips, where they got to go just with the older kids out to usually local places. They would walk up to Simply Boba on Mission. They utilized Israel's transit division to get themselves down to the Arroyo Park for mini golf. So kind of utilizing the resources that we have within our department to better maximize the product that we are giving to our community.
And we actually put on MetroLink in the past.
Yes, and also the Gold Line. They walked to the Gold Line. Went up to the Neon Arcade in Pasadena one afternoon. So it was a great summer. And so that ended Friday. We quickly turn around this Thursday at the beginning of school. And of course, after school Camp Med. So we again utilize our transit division to pick up from Monterey Hills and Marengo, which is where I went to Marengo. Proud alum, go Lions. The Arroyo Vista, they walk because it's just down the street from camp. So so between the 3 elementary schools, we have 61 total campers enrolled at the moment, and we are getting more each day. Somehow parents didn't realize that school started or something. And now they're all scrambling to find after school care. So we're still fielding calls. Arroyo Vista is at capacity. And then the other 2 schools still have some space, and we still do have interest coming in for all 3 schools. So staff, the staff that's staying on for the year, we have some seasonal summer staff, usually kids that are in college, that come back to us year over year because they enjoy the work experience, and we like having them back, those returning staff. But then they leave, and we have year-round what are called rec leaders too. So they got a day off yesterday, and then they're back in tomorrow to clean, disinfect, organize, restock all our camp facility, as well as get things turned over and ready for a new batch of campers. So kind of working with them to kind of reset our focus. It was a long summer, but a couple of days later, we have a lot of new campers. So they're doing a good job of getting things turned over and ready for what is the school year, which is starting on Thursday. So if there are no other or any questions, I'm happy to take them, but.
What's capacity?
Yeah, so right now,
How
just
many at each school are you guys able to handle?
so we have a capacity of 30 per school, and that kind of, that's based on transportation, that's based on staffing. being able to give the kind of quality programming that we expect at a camp like ours. So and it varies from school to school. Last year we had our schools in kind of cohorts in the camp environment. That as far as that we are going to have them all together. Going to break them up by age group, which I think will actually maximize our camp space and get the kind of first graders away from the fifth graders, because that led to a lot of, I don't want to say a lot, but that it will always lead to some kind of issues developmentally when you have those kind of age groups together. So being able to utilize the spaces to break up the age groups as opposed to the schools is something that I'm looking forward to, because I haven't seen it yet. So if there are no other questions, then thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you.
Jordan also participates in, or doesn't participate. He helps plan all the special events. He's at every special event too. So he's kind of selling himself short. And he's learning a whole bunch.
Yeah.
So, but he brought a lot of knowledge from the YMCA, which was awesome that we got to see him back. So. So that's an overview of the department. It might not be a total overview of maybe everything Lucy and I do. Tomorrow, I know we do have the PFOW forum. And because I didn't have a quorum, because it's probably going to be, if you want to join in, you'll have I think I sent you the Zoom link. It could be a very long discussion. At the last council meeting on the 20th, we had 15 or more public comments, so that, every 3 minutes, 15 people, it takes a lot of our time. And so it might be the same thing. So it'll start out with a presentation from, I think our police department will open it. The Humane Society will kind of do an overview of what kind of happens with, what they can do, and then it'll go back to police department to do kind of an overview of the ordinance that they're looking to
Follow ordinance.
yeah, it's really kind of a way to maybe take them away nicely. And I think they have a place in Santa Barbara, I think they said, that they'll a big farm that they could take them to. So yeah, it's just becoming a huge issue. So it'll and then they want me to say something. I was like, please refer to the website. Because when we at first thought we were taking over the animal commission, then it kind of veered a little bit, but we are still running a page. And so, Melissa sold herself short on social media. She does all our updating of our website, and she created a page for, like a critter corner, so that people can she really honestly just pulls from the Pasadena Humane Society's information, because we're not going to create anything because they're our contract. And she creates a page so people can go to that. But we probably will, we'll be involved with some things as we go through. So just be aware that you're like, what do we do with this? Well, here we are again. This is it's no big deal. It'll just add more to the commission. So that being said, you guys have any questions? I don't want to keep you any longer, but I just really appreciate your time. But we need to get to that. Do we have our next, because we kind of changed the agenda around. Okay.
Number 7, Commissioner
Seven, yes, on my
Communication.
next page. So yes, let's go to that, because I want to hear you guys. Your turn now, the staff said.
Okay, very good. All right, we did the staff liaison communications, division liaison
Yep.
communications. Okay. Any commissioner communications?
I just want to say, I think this format is going to be really fun and interesting. So as someone who also works for a city, I think that people really don't know or really realize the depth and breadth of what community services do. And especially during COVID, as the world shut down, I think people turned to their cities to build the community because they couldn't come out of their houses or go to their restaurants. And I watched Parks and Recs departments, all across the state really get worked hard, including this one. And so I think it's also exciting that you're getting that assessment done, because truly the value has always been there, but it's really showed up during COVID and for everything that you guys do. And you literally were the backbone of the community during COVID, because you gave people a place to congregate, even if it was in limited capacities. And so getting to hear about this work on more of a micro level through your divisions is for me, both a nerdy and exciting thing to listen to. So thank you for being a part of this and coming tonight and introducing yourselves, and looking forward to hearing about your work even more throughout the year.
We became essential, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
I
You're
would say
essential
because we've been the
workers.
non-essential service for so long.
and then you really, I mean, it's true though, as everything shut down, this is the department people turn to. So.
Thank you
We
very
were all
much
here
for
every
doing a
day.
great job on the 4th of July parade. It, it was executed quite well.
guys
You
will
brought
be
out a
part
lot of
that
good,
next year, too.
people. So, great job.
Yeah, no, thank you for everything you guys do. I know a lot of times it goes nobody thinks about it. Nobody, it's a thankless job. And you are all behind and doing a fantastic, job of it, because the social media, I get online and I start looking through things and it's, hey, this is cool. So when you're all out here letting us know what you're doing, it's like, oh, okay, I know now who does this and who does that. So, and and it's a thankless job sometimes. Nobody really sees you or does, but you're taking care of everything and you're doing a fantastic job. Everything that we've done this summer that was done here in the city to organize these, the parades, the concerts, all the things that you guys do. Thank you. It doesn't, I know that, a lot of folks just go by and expect things to get done. And it's like, well, there's a lot to it to be able to get it done. And it's thanks to everyone here. So we do I and myself do appreciate what everybody does. So thank you very much.
You want to talk, see if Karen has any comment?
Okay. Commissioner Thomas, do you have any comments?
No, I echo and agree with everything that the other commissioners just said. Thank you all so much.
Great. Okay.
Thank you, guys. That
I
was
think
very
that's
nice.
it. And,
And we don't dress like this all the time. Just that it was winning day.
oh, you don't wear this
No.
every day?
No.
I thought it was a coincidence.
No, we
It's,
pre-planned.
you prefer- yeah.
That's fantastic.
We will do the same thing next.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll get commissioner shirts for us.
Yes. I think that's all we have. So we can go ahead and adjourn.
7:15 PM for the record.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you
Great.
all.
Thank you.